Everyone, this is Elisa from Anaya's Toy Box Crochet, and I'm here to talk about color change when you're working with a graph.
Hello.
My son is with me. So I made this very recently, and until this, I'm not saying I invented anything. This might be invented. I just discovered it for myself. That's all. Before I show you the technique. Hold on one second. Okay, he wants to share some news with you.
We're in the hallway of our house.
We're in the hallway because there's a lot of light here and I didn't want to lug out my lights.
Yes.
All right. So, this is not the most comfortable place to be doing a tutorial, but whatever. I was making this beautiful graph. This is by Alt Knots. She's on YouTube and she did a tutorial on this. It's in her Halloween vlogs. Anyway, so this is not the first time I've done color change, but it's the first time I've ever made a graph, like a particular picture. Before that, I would do like, you know, the spots of a giraffe or like random shapes and stuff. So I knew how to do it. But the thing with amigurumi is that you can make a mess in the back and it doesn't matter at all because you're going to stuff it. And once you stuff it, it's all going to be perfect. But if you make a mess inside the bag, then things are going to get caught onto stuff. When you put stuff, it's going to get in the way. And you know what? You don't want to have a messy bag. Basically, you don't want to give this beautiful item that you will work on and say, here it is as a gift. And then the first thing the person who buys it will say, oh, wow, how beautiful. And then they'll open it up to put their stuff in and like their keys are going to get stuck in the yarn here when you let go of the yarn. So how do you make it neat? There was two ways. One was to weave in all the little ends. I'm sorry, that's not for me. I am not going to sit there and weave in like little ends. You see, there's only 2 stitches in this. I'm going to sit there and weave in the end of this? So the other way is to carry the yarn, which means you're going to crochet with one and you're going to carry the rest behind you the whole way. So I did that. As you could see all the way around, I carried the yarn. You could see some red here. You could see some white here. You could even see some green. And I really don't like that. I don't like things peeking. I like it really, really nice. So when I came here, I had an idea of dropping the yarn and trying a different way of doing it, which I'm going to show you in a few minutes. So I did it over here, and then, whoops, I'm sorry. I tested it over here. As you can see, you can't see the black anywhere. And the reason is because I didn't carry the yarn in this. And I did a different technique. I did not weave in the ends, and look, there is no mess. Okay, I did carry the purse color under the cap though. And this is what I'm going to show you. So I'm making a new graph. This is one that I am designing, like I designed and I'm making a bag out of it. This is it. And I'm going to show you exactly what I did. I am not carrying the black all over. Now in this, you still have to carry yarn. It's not like this is going to take away the yarn, but you're only going to carry it in the picture of whatever you're making and not throughout the purse. So if you look really closely here, you know, you could see some of the color, the bag color here. You could see it here. It's there. Look at the tail. Almost an entire row with the yarn, the bag color is showing. But throughout the bag, if you look at the back, you can't see the black at all. Well, kind of. You can't, but it's not because of carrying the yarn. That's just because black is so dark. You can't see it at all. If you look over here at this part where I stopped carrying the yarn throughout the bag, right here, you'll see it's just black. And that's what I want for this bag. So this is how I did it. Now, I am not saying I invented it. I'm sure somebody came up with it somewhere at some time. But I figured this out by myself and I want to share it with you. So this is what I do. This is when you're carrying a yarn for a piece where you can't have a messy back. I have already done a video for amigurumi and how to carry yarn, or not how to carry yarn, how to do color change in amigurumi. And if you want to check that out for amigurumi, go ahead. This is not for amigurumi. If you're doing amigurumi, I would still suggest the other method that I suggested in the old video. But this one is for something where you need the back of it to be relatively neat. So I am making this bag. And I'm not going to finish making the whole bag in front of you, but take a look at what I'm doing. You could tell I let go of the yarn here. I did the whole row and I let go of the yarn, and then I did this in just red. So now I need the yarn again. Oops, sorry, new tripod, need to get used to it. And I was hoping this would make it easier to do tutorials with it in front of me, but now it feels like the bag is so far in front of me. Anyways, whatever. So this is, for instance, if you knew you're going to weave in your end, this is how you would do it. You do it just like that, like you're about to weave in the end. Stretch it a little bit. Okay, so here is, I'm going to do 1 single crochet in black, and then I'm going to do a few in red. So in this point, you're still going to carry the yarn. So I will do the black single crochet, I'll carry the red in front of me, and I also take the black, you know, this part, which I pulled with me, and put it there on top of the yarn. So that this will be carried, kind of, not really carried. Is that what it is? But it's just not going to make a mess. It'll be underneath this stitch and it won't make a mess because it's underneath the stitch. I will continue to carry the black just like I was carrying the red, and I'll do it over this existing stitch. So I think my pattern was 1, 2, and then I'll switch to the black. Notice everywhere this black right here that I pulled, that most places, that previously I thought that you had to cut and weave in if you do it like this, is always under my stitch. So it's like behind my stitch as though I'm carrying it. So now I'm going to take the black and I'm going to do 2 single crochets in black like this. The whole time this yarn is behind my hook. So if you look at what I just did, there is no mess. There's nothing messy. It's like I'm carrying, well, I am carrying my yarn, but instead of just carrying 1 strand of yarn as you would if you have 2 colors, you're carrying 2 strands of yarn. You're carrying both the blacks at this particular point, because I'm at a red part, behind you. So the black that was that you brought over to the side, you're carrying that behind you, and you are carrying the black, you know, that you're working with behind you. So you will still have a little bit of color showing and everything, but I really, really do like the way this turns out. Even though there's a little bit of color, it's still a lot better. Where's that red? Let me finish this row where the color changes are going to be so you can see how it looks. I mean, I did show it to you, but I'd like to show it to you one more time. It looks, I mean, it's a bit awkward, like as if you're color changing, but having it not color change throughout the entire piece is really, really nice. You'll still have a little bit of the black showing behind the red because it's there, but it's not going to be like in the graph part, but it's not going to be the same as if you did the whole purse. Oops. And now that I'm at the end of where the picture is, I'm just going to use the red and the black will stay hanging until I come back to when I need the black again. So if you look, this looks nice, and this looks nice for the back of a project where I didn't carry the black the whole way through. Doesn't that look nice? And nothing is going to snag on anything. You put your keys in here, it's not going to snag on the back of the thread because you didn't put a lining on or you didn't weave in the ends. And when you're not going to have colors like this showing all over the place. Oops, sorry. You're not going to have colors like this showing all throughout your yarn because you carried your yarn all the way around. So I thought I'd share my idea with you. This is what I came up with. this is how it looks. The final piece will look if you use this technique as opposed to this technique, which is carrying the yarn. And of course, if you weave in the yarn, then you'll probably won't have, you know, these little bits of yellow showing through. But seriously, I avoid weaving, sewing in every piece I do. Any way that I could do it in a way that I could have less sewing, I do it in the way that I have less sewing. So for me, I like this method. I may have some black showing through in the picture part of it, but it's not going to be throughout the yarn, throughout the whole purse. And I'm okay with that. If I come up with a better idea, I'm going to show it to you. But for now, this is the idea I have, and I hope it helps you guys. Oops, let me put that here. I hope it helps you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you'd like to hear more from me, please subscribe. Bye.
Bye.